Okay, so this video is for Troop 2375. I'm going to do the best I can to record myself teaching you guys how to make these hats so that you can watch it at home or get extra help. If at any point I'm going too fast, just pause the video and catch up, or you can rewind if you need to hear something again. So I'm going to do my best. Of course, you can always call me if you have questions, or FaceTime or Skype or whatever it is that you need to do to get some help. The way that we're going to start our project is we're going to do something called a slip knot. Some of you already know how to do a slip knot, pretty much the same, but I'll show you here just in case you don't. We're going to take it and we're going to just wrap it around our fingers. It's going to cross over like this. I'm going to try to keep it in the camera. I'm sorry if I go off. I am not a professional making these videos. All right, so after you have it crossed, you're going to take the one that goes across the top and move it back across the back. So it's going to look like it's kind of splitting your little circle like this. And you're going to grab it from the middle. Pull both ends of your yarn, and that'll make the knot tight. But it is loose enough that you can do this. We're going to put our needle, or our hook, right into that circle. And that's how we're going to start, so that you've made your slip knot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this yarn, the long end that goes into your ball of yarn. We're going to wrap it around the hook. So we've got our loop, and we've wrapped, and we're going to bring the one that we wrapped through the loop. You're going to have this little thing here that looks a little bit like a braid. We're going to do that 5 times. So that's 1, wrap, bring through, 2, wrap, bring through, that's 3, wrap, bring through, that's 4, wrap it, that's also called yarning over, bring through, that's 5. All right, so you should have something that looks similar to this. Okay. Now we're going to take it, we're going to turn it over. It's going to look like this on the bottom side. And we're going to go through this right here, this little purple one that you see, that's my first one. We're going to take our hook and we're just going to go right in there. So now I've got 2 loops on my hook. Now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to bring that yarn through both of those loops. So through 1 and 2. It's going to leave us with this little circle here, okay? All right. Now we're going to chain twice. Chaining is what we did. Those first 5, those were called a chain stitch. So we're going to chain twice. So wrap it, bring it through the loop, wrap it, bring it through the loop. Okay? So now you're going to have this circle with a little line. Now we're going to learn something called a double crochet. So we've learned our slip knot. We've learned how to chain. When we connected the 2 to make the circle, that's called a slip stitch. And now we're going to learn a double crochet. And those are all of the stitches to make the hat. So after we learn that, then it's just a matter of how we arrange the stitches. Okay, so we're going to wrap around before we go through. We're going to go into the middle of that circle that we just made. Okay, so if you want to see closer, I wrapped around, and then here's my circle right here. I'm going to go into the middle of that circle. Okay? Now I'm going to wrap around again. I've got my yarn there. Bring it through the circle. Okay, so you've got now 3 loops on your hook. Wrap around again. Bring through 2 of the loops. Now I've got 2 loops left on my hook. Wrap around again, bring through the last 2. Okay, so now your project should look a little bit like this. And I'm going to start again. I'm going to do that 11 times. Our chain stitch counts as 1, so there'll be 12 total, but that chain stitch is 1. The first double crochet is 2. So I'm going to do I'm sorry, 10 more because I've done one, so we'll have 12 total on there. So 1, 2, here's the third one. So I wrapped around, I'm gonna go into the circle, I'm gonna grab it and bring it back through, yarn over, bring through 2 loops, yarn over, bring through 2 loops, yarn over, into the circle, yarn over, bring through 2 loops, yarn over, bring through 2 loops. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. I did it right, but I said the wrong thing and I don't want to confuse you. All right, so let's do that one again. We're going to yarn over, go into the circle, yarn over, bring it through the circle. I apologize for the first time misspeaking. Yarn over, bring through 2 loops, yarn over, bring through 2 loops. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrap around, so that's called yarn over. Go through the circle, yarn over, bring it through the circle, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've got five double crochets that we've done. Yarn over, into the circle, bring it through the circle. We've now got 3 loops. Yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So including your chain stitches, you've now got 6. You're halfway done. I'm going to speed this up. If you need more time, just go ahead and pause the video now. But I don't want to take forever for those that don't need more time on the instruction part of this. So we've got 6. We're going to do 6 more of the double crochets into the circle. Again, if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, I'm just going to count and make sure that I'm correct on my stitches here. So I've got my chain stitches, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I like to count the stacks here like this. That would be 1. Some people like to count these little stitches on top. That's okay too. Whichever way works for you is fine. So I've got 12 here. So I'm going to go ahead and do another chain stitch. Now where I'm going to do this chain stitch, I've actually used this multicolor yarn on purpose for this reason. So it's going to be between the 2 chains, I'm sorry, the slip stitch is what we're going to do. It's going to be between the 2 chains that we did to get up to this level and the first double crochet. And right at the top of that first double crochet, you're going to see this one here. So there's 2 of them that are at the top of the first double crochet. There's one that's kind of a little bit behind it, and then this is that double crochet right here. There's one that's a little bit in front of it. You want to do the one that's a little bit behind it, so it's kind of in between this chain stitch and the double crochet. And we're going to take our hook, and we're going to go into both of these little loops at the top here. So we're going to do one there, and then the other one is right here. So now we've got 3 loops total. So this one, and then this one, and this one. And we're going to take this and we're going to bring it through all 3 loops. So bring through those 2, and then bring through this one. And tighten it up if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Whoop, I've got my end piece here. That's not what I want. Let's try that again. We're going to go through all of them. And we're going to bring through these 2. And we're going to bring through this one. All right, and then if you can tighten this one up, that's fine. If you can't, that's fine too. Whatever works for you is totally fine. Now we're going to do chain stitching again. So we've done our slip stitch at the top. It should look like a circle now. We're going to do 2 chain stitches. 1, 2. Okay, so we should have a circle with a little line. Now we're going to go back into that same one that we did, but we're going to do a double crochet this time. So we're going to wrap around. We're going to go back into those 2 that we just went into. Right here. Go back under both. Okay. And then the double crochet we've already learned, but it's a little bit different when we're not going into the circle. So I'll just show you real slowly here. We're going to wrap around, bring it through the 2 loops instead of bringing it through the circle. Okay, so these 2 that you went under here. We're going to wrap around again, bring it through the first 2 loops that are on the hook, wrap around, bring it through the last 2 loops. Now you're left with 1 loop. Okay, we're going to do 2 double crochets in each one of these little braid looking stitches all the way around. Okay, so we've done this one with our chain stitch and our double crochet. Remember, our chain stitches are always going to count as 1 double crochet. So this is 2. Now we're going to go into this next one here, this dark purple one that you see on mine. For you, it's just going to be the next stitch over, or the next part that looks like a little braid. You're going to wrap around. So you've got your yarn, you yarned over, kind of looks like 2 loops now. We're going to go into the braid looking stitch. So we got those 2, we went under both, wrap around or yarn over, bring it through, go back up, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. We're going to go back down into that same stitch a second time, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. Okay, so now we've done 2 in that one, 2 in this one. We're going to do 2 in the next one. So for me, it's this blue stitch right here at the top. So I'm yarning over. I'm going to go into the blue stitch at the top, yarn over, bring that yarn through that stitch. Now I've got 3 loops, yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. Yarn over, into the same one again. Remember, we're doing 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around. Yarn over, bring it through the stitch, yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. Okay, next one, it's this blue one here for me. For you, it'll just be the next one over that still looks like a piece of a braid. You're going to go under both loops of that stitch, yarn over, bring it through. You've now got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. I've got a little piece of my hair stuck in mine. Let's get that out of there. Okay, we're going to go into that same one again. So yarn over, go through, yarn over, bring it through the stitch, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. Okay, so this is going to be the same all the way around. I'm going to speed it up. It's going to be 2 double crochets into each of the stitches. If you're still unsure, you can just go ahead and rewind the video a little bit. It's going to be the same directions all the way around until you get to the last couple of stitches. We are going to skip this last stitch that's right before our chain stitch here. So I don't know if you can tell on mine where it kind of goes up right here. Okay, so this last stitch that's on the bottom row, before we go up into the chain stitch, we're going to skip. So we're just going to go up until this point, and I'm going to go ahead and speed it up and do that now. But if you need to pause, go ahead and pause now. Okay? Okay, so we now have our 2 rounds, as we call them, because they're round. So this is our first round, that's round 1. This is round 2, and we need to connect it with a slip stitch, which we've learned before, but we'll go over it again just to make sure. So we're going to follow our chain stitches up. We're going to know it's a chain stitch because it looks like a braid, and the other one looks just like a weird stack of yarn. So we're going to follow this chain stitch up to the top of the chain stitch, and we're going to put our hook right in there. It's going to be right before the second stack of that first double crochet that we did. So follow up with the chain stitch. We're going to put it through there just like that, and then we're going to take our yarn, the piece that's connected to the actual ball of yarn still, yarn over, and we're just going to bring it through all of the loops without yarning over again. So we brought it through those first 2. We're going to bring it through that last one, and that's it. That's a slip stitch, okay? And that makes it just look nice and even so that you don't see the seam quite as much as you would otherwise, okay? Now we're going to chain 2. So if you remember, we're just going to wrap around once and bring it through the loop that's already on our hook. Wrap around once, bring it through the loop that's already on the hook. We have now chained 2. Okay, so you're going to have a circle with 2 rounds. So there's round 1, round 2, and a little chain stitch at the top. Now we're going to wrap around, go into that same one that we just did the chain stitch from, and do a double crochet, which you should be pretty good at by now. But just in case, we're going to yarn over again, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2. Now the way that this round is going to differ from the last round is we're not going to do 2 in every one. We're going to do 2 double crochets in every other one and 1 double crochet in the alternate ones. So since we did our chain stitch and our double crochet, that counts as 2. We're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, which for me is this dark purple one right here. So I've wrapped my yarn around my hook. This was just without that. I've now wrapped it around. I'm going to go into my next stitch, bring it through, bring through 2, bring through 2. So now I've got 2, then 1. All the way around, it's going to be 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around, okay? And again, we're going to skip that last one there. So let's do 2 in the next one, and I'll go slow for a few, and then I'm going to speed it up, and you can... Okay, I'm sorry about that. My video got interrupted. So let me start again. So we have our chain stitch, our double crochet, and then in the next stitch, 1 double crochet. So the next stitch, which for me is this blue one right here, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So I've wrapped around. I'm going to go into that stitch, pull my yarn through, wrap, go through 2, wrap, go through 2. So I'll go slow on a few of them and then we'll speed it up. I'm going to go back into that same one because this is one that I'm going to do 2 double crochets on. Bring it through, yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through 2.